Good afternoon. My name is Steve Burson, and I am joined today by...
Good afternoon, Michael Johnson. I'm based in Singapore. Nice to see everyone. Thanks for taking the time. Valuable day, that's for sure.
Okay, so today we're going to be talking a little bit about Asia Talent Mobility Alliance, which is a new alliance that we're trying to put together here in Asia for Asia. So I thought Michael and I would just start today by introducing the reasons why we have got involved in what we're calling ATMA, okay, Asian Talent Mobility Alliance. So I'll just kind of start. I was actually one of the people that first thought and sort of actively started to put a group of people together, thinking that we really needed something in Asia to represent our industry. If you look at Europe, for example, there are organisations like EURA. There's a couple of others. There's obviously Worldwide ERC in the US. And we really don't have anything here in Asia to represent the industry on an ongoing basis. So rather than one event a year that some companies might come from Europe or or ERC comes from the US to do, thought it would be a good idea to build something that we could have on an ongoing discussion, a place where people could come to share ideas and to take our industry forward. So that was why I got involved with this. And what sort of transpired was that I reached out to a bunch of people that I know and respect in the industry. And for about a year and a half now, we'll introduce you to all the members later on. But I've been working with Michael and some others to try to put together this alliance. So we'd like to just explain a little bit about that today. It won't be a long presentation, so hopefully just sort of 20 minutes or so that Michael and I will be explaining sort of what we're trying to do. And then I hope that at the end of things that people might have some questions for us and that we can perhaps have a bit of a discussion towards the end. Michael, over to you. Why was it that you chose to get involved in ATMA?
Steve, thank you so much. And it's been over a year that we've been at this now, which, and it's come from zero to quite a professional not-for-profit organization. I always want to reiterate that this is not for profit, and that's really important. But for me, I think, first of all, it's flattered to be invited, but at the same time, I think being in this industry for almost 25, 30 years, there's always sometimes even a lack of respect from the HQs, from the for the mobility teams often, and it was great to be a part of working towards a learning that would allow corporates and vendors to kind of get a seat at the table and have a voice. And I think that's what's been really important to me.
Excellent. Okay, so we do have a bit of a formal presentation that we're going to take you through now. So I'm going to share my screen. We'll take you through a few slides, trying to explain what ATMA is about and what we'd like it to be. In saying that, we very much think that ATMA is something that that everybody needs to get involved in to create. So while we have some kind of direction, we'd like to get everybody's input in Asia about what would work for you, what would help your company or your career path, for example. And so really what we're introducing today is just the startings of what we think is a good direction for a body that would represent our industry in Asia here today. So this is not about me or Michael or about any of the others that we're going to introduce today that are part of our launch committee. This is about creating something for the whole the whole industry here in Asia. And we've tried to develop things so that it's really inclusive and so that we can involve anybody and everybody from the industry. So this is not about service providers versus corporates versus anybody else. So anybody that is related to this industry, we'd like to have them join and be able to participate. So let me just share my screen now. Firstly, we have a few things to take you through. So I won't read through the agenda here today, but we would like to explain a little bit about the structure, the launch committee, which is the members that are involved, the foundation partner initiative. So we're looking to get on some sponsors onto the alliance, so that we can move things forward. So we'll talk a little bit about that. And then also about the general membership. So how some of you may want to get involved just as general members. Hopefully we can also have your companies get involved and sponsor us as well. So we'll take you through the agenda here. This, as I mentioned, this will be 15 to 20 minutes. We don't intend this to be very long, but just to give you a good idea about what we're trying to do here. Michael, I think you were going to take us away with this one.
Sure, my pleasure. And again, a big welcome to everyone. It's great to see the attendee list and you guys start popping in from different corners of the region. So welcome to everyone. Why ATMA? Steve, you'd mentioned Euro earlier, and our dear ERC, where we will probably be meeting each other, many of us, in Washington, in Atlanta, coming soon. Euro is headquartered in the UK, focusing on Europe. ERC is certainly focusing and a bit, it would be said, or it could be said, America-centric, right? So that's part of the problem, possibly, and where we saw the opportunity, a void, but also a great opportunity to create a learning and development platform for Asia. Frankly, we're all here. I noticed some of the names on the attendee list, and you were either born here, you've spent most of your career here, decades, growing your career and your lives here. So, we get those 40% numbers. We know that there are going to be incredible opportunities ahead still for FDI to come in, foreign direct investment to come in, by multinational companies, creating more relocation and opportunities internationally and interregionally. So our goal is really made in Asia, right? We're all based here. We're all located here. We're all very invested here in terms of our careers and even our families. So it's time to kind of, for lack of a better cliche word, give back and hopefully create this platform that will allow people to, should allow professionals at all levels to continue to develop their careers in Asia.
Yeah, and these results, the numbers you see here are from a KPMG survey in 2019, but compared to the amount of volume that we have coming into Asia, we really don't have any body that represents us at the moment. And we can talk about where we can take that on the next slides. So we've created a mission and a vision for ATMA. I can let you read through the mission there, but our vision is really to enhance the innovation and development of talent mobility industry in Asia. And hopefully we're taking this more from a sort of an educational perspective in terms of being able to help people to learn about the industry, sort of develop themselves in the industry, find the place that they like in the industry, that sort of thing. So the mission here really is to develop sort of mobility here in Asia. Michael, do you want to explain sort of our central pillars that we have established?
So 4 central pillars, and we're going to start with a few acronyms: ESG and DE&I. ESG has already been kind of in effect, and we kind of typically will relate that to sustainability and environmental protection, and these days, and obviously governance. And many of our companies' headquarters are already heavily invested in ESG programs. DE&I diversity, equity, inclusion, relatively new in the vernacular, but becoming more prominent, certainly, again, at many of our HQs, but it's coming our way really, really fast. We need to be ready for that, and we need to have our members prepare for that. Second pillar, advocacy, right? During COVID, I think, many governments kind of closed doors for foreign workers in many different levels. And, we'd look towards establishing relationship with government agencies to, focus on the importance of cross-border trade and how that relates to employment, and certainly opening more immigration doors, which we think is well, certainly we know is essential to all of our businesses succeeding. Education and development, our next pillar. I'd like to tell a little story behind that. One of our founding launch committee members, Shumin, who I'll introduce you to in a second, Shumin told us a kind of heartwarming story that she always wanted to be a teacher. So this was such an excellent opportunity for her to look towards developing and creating, being part of a learning and development platform, to be a mentor, and also to welcome new young professionals into the business, eventually have them certified as ATMA trained, and I think one other thing she brought up, which was, and Steve had mentioned it earlier, was to not silo people into corporate and vendor anymore. Let's look at, again, this cross-pollination being really important, and not labeling people because of how they ended up starting their career. And finally, the fourth pillar, events and networking, maybe a little more fun than the others, but we all like to get together, especially after COVID. So networking, sharing our best practices, working together, getting to know each other, and creating more opportunities, frankly, for all of us. So who doesn't like a good conference? Steve? Next slide.
Excellent. And just if I make a couple of comments here, probably education and development and events and networking are probably going to be the place where ATMA starts for the most activity. Not to say the other pillars aren't as important, but we're already talking about a mentoring program that Shumin is a big part of, as Michael just mentioned. And building also a resource library as well for folk here in Asia. So that's already underway, and obviously getting together to have regional events, country by country events, some. It could be events for certain sectors of the industry, and that sort of thing. Some of these events could be webinars, some of them could be face to face, and that sort of thing. But I think those are the areas that we're going to be probably having the most activity in to start with, and then as we can get into things to develop more those other pillars of ESG and sustainability, and also advocacy as well. So moving on now to the what we're calling the launch team, which is there's 8 or 9 of us that have been involved for the last year and a half in trying to bring this together. And I'll let Michael take you through the first few slides here.
Sure, and not to delve in too deeply, but I'm sure many of you will recognize these faces, some pretty prominent people in the industry, based in different countries, in fact. So this Sharon's based in the US, but always heavily focused on Asia. First based in Hong Kong, very, very senior professional. And many of you know, maybe Meng, based in Shanghai, with many, well, over a decade of experience developing business there, and definitely becoming a thought leader there as well.
Okay.
Shumin, who I mentioned earlier, these are our initial or launch committee members from the corporate side. Though we said not to silo anyone, they do happen to be from the corporate side. So Shumin, whom some of you may recognize, and if you don't, you will, because Shumin is becoming a panelist at every event. So we're very proud of her. And Kerwin Guillermo, who I'm sure many of you know as well, who has more than 20 years of experience in the business on the corporate side, and is also a very, very respected thought leader.
Okay.
Sean Collins. Sean may have gotten some of you hired. I'm sure you know Sean. He's run large mobility programs in the past before becoming an entrepreneur. My co-host, Steve Burson, who runs a multi-country DSP here in the region, has been here his entire career. And a legend in Abram Goldberg, whose career also spans decades and is an extremely respected mentor and thought leader.
Thank you, Michael. And then just the last two people in here. So Patricia Jade Oy, who some of you may know from, she runs a moving conference here in Asia called ATMA. So it's been difficult for Pat over the last couple of years with COVID and that sort of thing, but she did have, I believe, this year she was able to hold a conference, again, and will be doing so again next year as well. I believe sometime in March timeframe. I believe the location is yet to be announced, but Pat has joined us with a wealth of experience in managing events, and we're looking to her to be able to help us to run the ATMA organization, and also to be able to put conferences and events on for us as well. And of course, my colleague here, Michael Johnson, who has a very decorated past in not just in our industry, but also an entrepreneurial past in creating and establishing companies in China and things like that. But is now representing sort of the moving world for us on the launch committee. So with a wealth of experience in international household goods. So we have a very sort of robust team that is representing probably not enough of the different areas that we have in our industry. And diversity is going to be a big thing for us moving forward, and this is definitely not the only people that we want to have involved. These are the people who have generously put forward their time to start this off, but we very much feel that we want to get more people that were born and raised here in Asia to get on board, and to replace some of us, if you like, on the committee or the board of ATMA in the future. And we really do think that we need to get more people from more diverse backgrounds and different sectors of the industry involved, including from the corporate side as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
So this is just a very sort of brief look at what the organization looks like. So Asia Talent Mobility Alliance Limited is a Hong Kong established company. So we have established the entity in Hong Kong. Under that, of course, there will be what's called the ATMA Management Committee. So this will be a committee of basically board members of the Asia Talent Mobility Alliance Limited. I won't go into the details of this now. We've set it up as a not-for-profit business in Hong Kong. So nobody will ever benefit, no individual will ever benefit from any of the proceeds that come into ATMA. So we're looking at this as being, an organisation of volunteers who work together, for the industry. So the only people that would perhaps be paid within this would be the people that actually run the organisation. So in terms of running the operations, we would need people like Patricia, who I introduced on the previous slide. We might need paid support from somebody like them to run the industry, but very much the participation of everybody else would be of a volunteer nature and not for profit. So that's what we're looking to build. The ATMA Advisory Council, we very much believe that we need help in building the direction of ATMA. And therefore, some of the one of the benefits of being a foundation partner would be that you would have a place on the advisory council. That would not be the only people who would be on the council, but we want to have a diverse population within that council as well to kind of guide and direct the management committee in terms of the direction that ATMA goes. And of course, under all of this, very important and very central to what ATMA does will be sponsors, will be members, or what we're calling patrons, and the foundation partners who are the initial sponsors and supporters of what ATMA is doing here in Asia. I'll move on very quickly to the foundation partner initiative. So just to let you know, we're looking for 12 foundation partners who would to join us and to support us. And one of the biggest sort of things within this is the financial support. So obviously we need funds to get ATMA up and running. So that would be one of the big things that we'd be asking of the foundation partners. But then, as I mentioned, they get several benefits from offering to partner us, and those benefits are kind of listed up here. But we're looking for partners that would really like to support this startup nature of ATMA with basically a 2-year commitment of $15,000 per year to support the startup of what we're talking about today. So you can see that we're looking for a sort of a wide range of foundation partners too. So we don't want them all grouped in one particular part of the industry, but from a wide range of the industry. The good news is and I can't announce the names yet because things haven't been 100% finalised, but we do have commitment from 2 companies, both very well internationally respected companies that will come on board with us. So the good news is we have 2 so far. We're still working on basically looking for the support, both from corporates and from service providers across the full range of companies in the industry. That is obviously not the only kind of sponsorship that we're going to be looking for going forward. There will be different sponsorship opportunities. The foundation partners is the initial one. So there'll be some extra benefits for those foundation partners because they're the first people to come on, the first people to support what we're trying to do. But we will also be looking for some other sponsors. So Michael, I don't know if you want to speak to this one for us.
Well, thanks, Steve. And I think, one thing we all recognize, especially at this time in history, $15,000 is not a small amount of money to ask for in terms of funding. So we're looking at developing new sponsorship packages at different levels, so everyone can be a part of this in some way. So whether you're a corporate, whether you're a vendor, whether you're an individual member, we'll be creating those packages and kind of launching those soon. But I think the key really word on this page is contributing. We really want to welcome people, professionals and leaders to be panelists, to be mentors, to introduce their professionals to be a part of it. So more thought leaders and subject matter experts to contribute to the development of the learning library, right? So there are a lot of opportunities that will be coming your way as we continue to develop the platform itself.
Thank you. And just moving on to the general membership. So this is what we are looking at for in terms of general membership. So we do, as I mentioned at the start of this, we want to be inclusive. And so one of the things we've talked a lot about amongst the sort of the people that have launched we've been working with on this, is to keep the fees, reasonable so that we can be inclusive and have everybody in Asia participate. So at the moment, and this is pretty much finalised, but we're looking at sort of corporate membership of being $300 per year per member. That could be either an individual membership or a corporate membership. So you could tie your company to a membership, and then $200 per year for each additional person that you add to that membership. So obviously, if you're a company and you want to add 2 or 3 other people, you could do that at $200 per year per annum. And so, that membership would then allow you to actively participate in this community, and it's really a community that we're wanting to build. Just on the slide here, you can see the website there, www.asiatma.com. You can go to the website today and click on the membership tab there. We are not officially accepting memberships yet, as we are actually working on the establishment of a bank account for the Hong Kong entity. Once that is done, we will be starting to accept people to come on as members. But you can go to the website now and sign up and be on a waiting list, and we will contact you immediately after we're ready to start the memberships. So that's what we're doing there. What would a membership entail? So these are just some of the benefits of being a member. Obviously, we've talked about opportunities to grow personally and professionally, starting with the mentorship program, but also through webinars and events and things where you can exchange ideas and intermingle with people, exchange of knowledge, access to the resource library that we're going to be building. We've already started with building some materials into that will continue. Discounted rates to obviously all ATMA events. So there will come a time when the webinars and things that we do won't be free events, but they will be paid events for external parties. You may be, as a member, receive free access to those, or perhaps discounted access. Opportunities to contribute to our blog and social media channels, and then we obviously will be encouraging participation in any event or speaking opportunities, those sorts of things. Anything that ATMA runs, we would be encouraging people to get to participate, and perhaps to create different committees that could be different verticals within the industry. So it really is an organisation that we want to build, for the members. So whatever you want to do within ATMA, we would hope that you could actively put up your hand, and we could help you to build and create whatever you think would be useful for you and for the industry.
Yeah, and that's what I think is one of the beauties of ATMA, particularly where we stand today. As we said before, it's a real chance to be part of a grassroots organization, and lending your hand, lending your knowledge to future young professionals, and truly a chance to contribute and make a difference in the industry that we've all, in essence, dedicated our lives to, right? Dedicated our careers to. And
right.
Frankly, no matter if you're young or old, so to speak, it's a chance to continue your own learning journey, right? And for all of us. So,
seeing if Sean Collins, he had mentioned that he was going to come on, and perhaps you could get some insights from him as well. There you are.
Yep, there we go. Hi, Steve. Hi, Michael. Thanks for that. And sorry, I jumped on a bit late, but yeah, I just want to share that I've been part of this journey from the beginning as well, in terms of helping to build this organization. So I think it's something that with my career in mobility, it's something I really would have loved to have had, something I would have really enjoyed taking part, as I grew my own career within global mobility in Asia. So having the opportunity now to help build something to help support our industry, and like you said, Michael, young professionals, people that have been in the industry as long as us, is continual learning and sharing, and being able to have a platform like this to kind of connect with our peers and help evolve the mobility industry within our region.
Thank you, Sean.
Absolutely.
And yeah, feel free to reach out to any of us, if you want to have a conversation about how you can participate or what we're trying to achieve with ATMA. Always happy to talk about it.
Yes, please, and likewise for any of the people that you saw on the launch committee, any of them would be more than happy to to speak with you. So if you know any of the other people on the launch committee, perhaps better than you know us, please feel free to reach out to them, and I'm sure they'd love to have a conversation with you.
Yeah, and I'd just like to say again, all levels, right? I mean, we're not. You don't have to commit to the $15,000 right away. We'd love you to do a blog piece, and we'd consider that for posting. A lot of opportunities, and it's really an open book in some ways. Of course, it'd be vetted by our team, but it's really, we really hope to have a contributory participative organization, and again, it's small. It's a good time to be a part of it for sure.
And if anyone has any ideas about different committees or chapters, or you would have seen the pillars that we have. If you're interested to kind of get behind one of those pillars, for example, the ESG kind of pillar, then yeah, please reach out, because we need the community to kind of help us to build these things up.
Yeah, and I think the word community is really important here. So we're really wanting to build something that is ongoing, and a community for everybody to participate in. So this is not about a once a year event or a once a year conference. It's about an ongoing community that everybody can benefit from in different ways. Now, within that community, there may well be some things that are reserved for perhaps corporates have perhaps their own committee or their own chapter, if you like, for different things. But we can also have that for different sectors within the so household goods might have something going, whereas a DSP might do something, or Sean might be doing something in terms of recruiting within the industry and that sort of thing. So we really do want to make this something for everybody, and something meaningful for everybody. And the more people that can get involved, I think the bigger things we can do together. All right. Well, thank you everybody for joining today. I do encourage you to go to the ATMA website. We will, when we communicate out the link to this presentation, and the presentation itself, when we send that to you, we'll provide you once again with the URL. Please do go there, and if you're interested in becoming a member, sign up on the list, on the waiting list, and we will definitely get in touch with you once we're ready to to fully launch ATMA. So we're just sort of finalising some last things in terms of bank accounts and things like that for the organisation, and then we can really start to get things underway. So thank you very much.
Excellent. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for your time today.
Thanks, Sean, for joining at the end here. Thank you.
Yeah, pleasure. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay.